Today's match will be officiated by referee Ismir Pekmek, assistant referees Chris Canales and Manuel Vargas, and the fourth official is Marco Vega. Welcome to the pitch for today's match, Rio Grande Valley FC.
El Paso Locomotive FC versus RGV FC, presented by Southwest University. Southwest University makes you happen.
After a 4-month hiatus, live soccer is back at Southwest University Park. Let's take you behind the scenes, brought to you by GECU. The Locos are in the building, training hard, focused on playing their brand of soccer, and you'd better believe the crazy train will be ready to go. Tonight, El Paso Locomotive FC versus the Toros from the Rio Grande Valley, RGV Toros FC, presented by Southwest University. USL Championship Soccer is back. Welcome to the Brian Bird's Home Selling Team pregame show. I'm Duke Keith, and with me in a separate booth is my broadcast partner, Michael Ballaghan, as we practice social distancing. Hopefully you and yours are staying safe out there. And Mike, as we take a look at us, we're not the only ones experiencing something a little different. There are no fans here at Southwest University Park.
Yeah, definitely. With the return of play and safety being the most important issue, having no fans in the stands was a no-brainer for the club. Making sure the player safety, the front office safety, and also the fans and the community safety was what the decision was made based on. So that's why we have no fans tonight. However, we're excited to be back having live soccer here in El Paso.
Indeed we are. As you see the Eighth Notch, members of the Eighth Notch and Locomotive fans in the Classico fan cam, you saw the cardboard conductors section. That's all section 105 here at Southwest University Park. And in an effort to keep players safe, we have a revamped schedule to minimize travel as well. The USL Championship has grouped teams by region to play a total of 16 matches. That includes matches played before the March 12th suspension of play, which means that March 6th match, the 0-0 draw at Orange County, that counts, and it puts Locomotive FC firmly in second in Group C. They'll play New Mexico United in Group C, Colorado Springs Real Monarchs twice at home, twice on the road. The top two teams in the group will advance to the playoffs. So, yeah, with 16 games, that is, it means every match really counts. The remaining 3 matches outside of group play against teams that are in somewhat close proximity to, again, minimize travel and keep players and staff safe, which is why Toros FC is here tonight, Mike.
Yeah, and obviously we've talked about his safety has been the priority in this return to play format. The players are regularly getting a temperature check when they go to training and tonight before the game. They're also getting regular COVID tests for the players, the staff, and the front office. And in addition to that, the return to play, as put out by the USL, had smaller group training, starting with four group trainings with no contact into larger, almost 10 group players. And then finally, in the last 2 weeks, they were able to get the full team out there and actually train and prepare for this game tonight. So it looks a little different. However, the players are excited. They were buzzing this week and looking forward to being back on the field and playing against someone else besides themselves.
That is the main thing. And after a long-awaited return tonight, there will be live soccer in the Sun City. El Paso Locomotive FC versus RGV Toros FC, starting lineups on the other side of the break.
Thank you for watching the pre-match show presented by Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with the Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Visit chucorealtor.com or call 915-751-1500.
Welcome back, everybody. Southwest University Park is the place. It is 104 degrees at kickoff, but it feels like 99. It's a dry heat. Duke Keith and Michael Balogun with you as we check the Casa Ford, Casa Nissan, and Casa Kia keys to the game, and a look at the starting lineups. And there you see Logan Ketterer, the backstop for Locomotive FC. Mike, it's all about what's up front and the new pairing, Lomes and Gomez up at the top. As we take a look at RGV's starters tonight, a lot of turnover from a team that finished outside of the playoffs last year, but be looking for Perpa. Number 14, he is the draft choice for the Houston Dynamo, and he'll be a big part of this match this evening. Our referee is Chris Ruska. The assistant referees, Manuel Vargas, Chris Canales, and the fourth official is Marco Vega. It is time for USL Soccer in El Paso, Texas, tonight at Southwest University Park. Very happy you could join us, and hopefully you and yours are doing well. There will be hydration breaks in the matches. There will be 5 substitutions, but key, you can only make them at 3 separate times in the match. Locomotive FC, a team of great experience, lots of returning starters, Mike, and it's going to be keys to the game tonight for both of these teams. What are we looking for the Casa Ford, Casa Nissan, Casa Kia keys to the game?
Yeah, I think possession is going to be really, really important. We know the Locomotive want to play an attractive possession style play. However, it's going to be more important today because of the long layoff, because of the long wait since their last game. That's going to be very, very important. Who's able to maintain possession, who's able to create chances with possession. The second part for me is which coach manages the substitution best. Obviously, having 5 substitutions different from what it was like in the past, and having the additional 2 substitutions is going to be really important. Which coach is able to manage those substitutions, bring on the right guys at the right time, recognize who's tired and who needs a sub. That's going to be very, very important. And the last part is which team is going to be able to finish their chances. The Locomotive did a phenomenal job last season, creating lots of chances in RGV's first game. They created a lot of chances. However, they weren't able to capitalize on it. So that's going to be important in this game as well.
Logan Ketterer between the pipes for El Paso. And that is a real key. He's talking in the season about how much the continuity really helps, and it has a lot to do with the organization around Locomotive FC. Mike, he was extremely happy to see so many of his teammates return, and just to have that, I guess, that anchor, that stability that some teams in the USL Championship frankly don't have, makes a lot of difference.
Absolutely. Featuring in 37 games last year, it's really important to have a player like Logan Ketterer back there, someone that gives the back line, the rest of the team, confidence. It's absolutely terrific. Had numerous, I believe 13 shutouts last year, so to have someone like that back there just calms the back line down and the rest of the team.
Over the touchline, and it'll be an RGV throw here in the early going. 2.5 minutes in. Big concern for Mark Lowry and his staff has been managing the workload for players during training, but as we take a look at the Texas Tech Health Report, no injuries. That's good for Locomotive. Definitely makes Mark pretty happy.
Yeah, most definitely. Obviously, a long layoff, having worked their way back into fitness and getting ready to start the season, and then having to sit off for 4 months before their next game. It's really good to see the players come out of the lockdown, come out of quarantine time in shape and fully healthy.
A little too long for Emile Legault. Legault travels the only over the back line for a Logan Ketterer goal kick. Quick restart as Locomotive FC will play out of the back. The team captain, Chiro Intoko. Drew Becky. Back from Chapa Herrera, getting the start tonight. And how big is that for the young man from El Paso? Worked his way on by showing up to Locomotive's open tryouts, kept getting invited back. And after Omar Salgado, who, of course, the #1 draft pick in 2011 by Vancouver Whitecaps, comes with a pedigree, Luis Chapa Herrera finds himself with a legitimate professional soccer contract.
And he had a terrific offseason, getting a chance to train and being looked at by LAFC. Obviously, not coming to fruition. However, it was a great experience for him to train and work alongside one of his idols in Carlos Vela. So he was definitely excited about that when I had the chance to talk to him. And he's definitely looked to take that experience and bring it into the season and really take his game into the next level.
Restart for RGVFC after the foul out on Toro's left wing. Swung in and headed out. Chiro and Choco meets that firmly. Attempted a cross, and it goes flying on Timo Melik.
That's well done by the Locomotive on defending that free kick. Holding the high line and then dropping right before the ball gets played. Timing it well and getting the ball out of danger.
Well, there is a very different protocol, and obviously with no fans, as Lome's trying to make something happen. Double team Carter Manley is going to come away with that, along with Robert Castellanos. No Texas Tech ball, kids. That's part of the return to play protocol. Balls are placed in the sideline instead, so you just come and pick it up. And they're getting disinfected by staff throughout the match per USL return to play protocols. So a little bit different. Becky, nicely played. Up the wing to Rebellon. Back to Herrera. There is Rebellon. Chiro and Choco. Here's Andy Fox sending one long, looking for Gomez up the wing. Deflected, Coronado trying to clear, but well met by Rebellon.
Well done by the Locomotive, being patient, taking their time to see how RGV setting up in their press. Really surprised that RGV is coming out and pressing the Locomotive early in the game. Obviously being off for 4 months, that's not stopping RGV from coming out and pressuring. We'll see how long they can hold that pressure, how long that will sustain.
Becky, the subject of the documentary, still defending after his ongoing issues with myocarditis. And the still defending documentary now available on Amazon. That was just released. Good turn here by RGV. Juan Obregon still working, draws the double team, and Locomotive FC forces it out for an RGV throw. It's good work by Obregon.
I did really well there to hold off Chapa Herrera, win the ball off of him, and then hold him off, deal with the double team, earn his team a throw in.
Perpa. High draft selection. He's the man who scored RGV's goal. That's too long on the cross. Trying to switch it, and Locomotive FC quickly back into play, courtesy of Andy Fox.
That's going to be something to keep our eye on, is how quickly teams put the ball back in play. Reminds me of the ball boy in the Tottenham game, throwing the ball quickly to Aurelio, I believe it was. He was able to get a goal off of it. We'll see how quickly and how much teams take advantage of the balls being played strategically all over the field in this game.
That was a good moment, and obviously Liverpool FC. Quick thinking ball boys, a thing of the past, at least during the pandemic at Southwest University Park. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the United Soccer League Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. RGV a little bit better in terms of the run of play as of late. More possession. This is a team that's over 80% on its passes, although again, looking up that right wing for Emile Legault. Sails away on RGV.
See what RGV is trying to do early on in this game, recognizing that the Locomotive are very tight centrally with their midfielders. So trying to exploit that and find the wide players early on with the big switch. They've overhit it a couple of times now. See if they can recalibrate that and put those passes on point.
Becky, Rebellon. Rebellon, bit of a dance and draws the contact from Kevin Rodriguez. Brian Rebellon missing quite a bit of the regular season last year. Season was pretty much ended by that severe ankle injury. Took his share of bumps throughout 2019, but wonderful to see him healthy and ready to go. Turnover gives Toros a chance. Drawing the contact from behind. Yuma with the contact, the foul, and a little talking to by Chris Ruska. Taking a tumble was Rodriguez.
And he's quick to deny it like a true veteran. However, that was definitely a tactical foul, recognizing that he was not going to be able to catch up to Kevin Rodriguez. So going to ground and keeping him from getting closer to goal and advancing up the field.
Nowhere near the ball, and Yuma's lucky it's only a warning, I think. Was around second base, that would have been out here at Southwest University Park. And another restart for RGV FC in their match versus Locomotive FC in March of last year. A 2-2 draw with the big free kicks that made a huge difference, but this one sailed up and over by Obregon. Up in section 105 is where that one wound up, and I don't know if maybe Obregon gets a Cupid doll if he took one out. Box. Nick Ross. They always underestimated Scotsman. That was a good thought by Becky, just not able to hook things up with Rebellon up the right wing.
And again, you see the Locomotive do a really good job of dealing with the pressure from RGV Toros, doing well to engage them, suck them in, and then exploit the space on the opposite side.
Now you'll notice in our scorebug the 3 dots. That's for the 3 instances where you can make substitutions. A total of 5 subs. But when you make a sub, that's one of your 3 opportunities to do so. Both coaches, Mark Lowry for Locomotive FC, and of course Gerson Echeverri, who returns for his 3rd season with RGV, will have the opportunity to bring in as many subs as they want, up to 5.
And I anticipate both coaches using all 5 subs, or using the majority of those subs, recognizing that these players have not played a game, at least a game against an opposition, in over 4 months. So they have to manage the minutes for the players, and recognizing with the new format and sometimes playing 2-3 games in a matter of 10 days, they're going to have to be careful with how they manage the minutes of the players and making sure they can deal with the load that's ahead of them.
Again, 104 degrees at kickoff. Only one other match in the entirety of 2019 where the temperature exceeded 100 degrees at kickoff. I think that this one has shattered that record. The misery index is 99 degrees. A little too far ahead, but I don't know. 104.99, 6 half dozen, right, Mike?
Definitely.
And there will be hydration breaks in both halves. Well played by Becky. Just too far ahead, just a touch too far ahead of Rebellon. You see, and this is the part of the game you were talking about, Mike. The timing is just not there, is it, at this point of the season? Even though you've practiced, it's different in game situations.
Definitely. Obviously, in training, you can plan, you can predict how RGV might move, how they might set up. However, it's not the exact same as how they will do things, how players will close down, how fast players will get to certain things. So the timing is a little bit off, and you've seen a couple of overhit passes on RGV side and also on the Loco side as well.
This is a match that, as we enter the 16th minute, has been played mainly in the midfield. A couple of forays for both sides, but RGV on those restarts has perhaps had the better looks in the early going. Marios Lomes has had maybe one touch in this match so far.
He's a player that the Locomotive coaches are very excited about, his ability to put the ball in the back of the net. They rave about his finishing ability prior to the lockdown, and
good work here up the right or left wing by Rodriguez. Rodriguez, the cross, finding over to Ruin Nunez. Here's a shot deflected on the rebound. Ruin Nunez looking for a handball, and that will go over the back line. It will be a corner unless it is ruled a foul, and it is ruled a corner. Not enough contact in the arm for Chris Ruska, but this will be a corner kick for RGV Toros FC. The Chick-fil-A corner kick coming up. Luca Perpa. Out of Marquette University, Perpa low, and got it to the feet of Castellanos. They're saying it's touched, looks like, by Lomes. It'll be another corner kick, another Chick-fil-A corner coming here for RGV. So Perpa right back at it. Will he go low again? Looks like that's what they were looking for. A little farther to the far post this time, and Ntoko meets that firmly. Well done by Becky. On the breakout, trying to roll it over. He'll settle it down, and Ntoko. Dylan Morris. Another new face. Juan Nunez. You could tell that made a little contact with Becky. It'll be a throw in for RGV. As you take a look at Marios Lomes. Southwest University player profile. Lots of bona fides for that man out of the Netherlands, coming to El Paso from North Carolina FC in the USL. And there's the target forward I think Mark Lowry's been looking for, somebody to be on the end of those crosses. One of the things Locomotive FC lacked, I should say, all of last season was somebody to be on the end of some of those great passes in that final third. Six goals and 14 appearances for North Carolina, and was in the lineup in that 0-0 draw at Orange County to start the season.
Bringing in a player with the size, with the finishing ability of Marios Lomes was really important for Coach Mark Lowry and his staff. I had a conversation with him before the start of the season, the first start of the season, and just being bigger all over the field was really important to him, recognizing that we're recognizing how many goals in the USL were scored on set pieces and how many games were won or lost off of set pieces was really important. So bringing in a player like Marius Lomes who can capitalize and put the ball in the back of the net for them was really important.
Here's Ross trying to go right. That is well played by Coronado. And on the counter again for RGV, it's Kevin Rodriguez taken down by Yuma. All ball, says the referee, and they'll let it roll over for a goal kick. Yuma gets the deflection off of Coronado over the back line.
That's well done by Yuma, stepping in and winning that challenge up with Kevin Rodriguez, who's a much quicker, much faster player to Yuma. However, the experience of Yuma wins there.
Javier Monsalves Carazo, Yuma.
And here we've already seen a change in how RGV is choosing the press. Early on, they came out, they tried to put the Locomotive under pressure. However, the Locos were able to get out of it fairly easily, and now we see them setting up, showing the press, however, quickly backing off.
Mares gets that one to connect with Rebellon. The cross inside is deflected. And again, well done by Coronado. Rebellon cheating into the middle a bit. Mares. Yuma and Chapa Herrera, and that one is misplayed for an RGV throw. About the most time I think Locomotive FC has spent in the attacking third in this match so far tonight. We're approaching 22 minutes. USL Championship action continues this week, and a classic showdown. Two-time USL champion title winners Louisville City FC welcoming Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC to the brand new Lynn Family Stadium. That is coming up on ESPN2 and ESPN Deportes, Lou City in Pittsburgh, Sunday, July 12th. It's 3 p.m. on ESPN2 and ESPN Deportes. Locomotive FC, the quick throw in. Here's Becky. Rebellon lofts one. Gets loose, looking for Lomes. 6'2", looking for Dutchman to fly here at Southwest University Park, but a bit off target and an easy gather for Paul Blanchett.
A much much different approach to last year, where Brian Rebellon was very much trying to get to the end line and then pull the ball back for the much smaller Jerome Kiesevet, the much smaller Sebastian Velasquez. However, having a bit of height in there and a bit of aerial ability, and Marius Lomes has changed tactically what the Locomotive will try to do this year. We saw that in that moment with Brian Rebellon serving an early ball into the box.
Early service, but nowhere near where it needed to be put. Here's Intoko. Switch to Fox. Fox out on that left wing to start tonight. Mares. Locomotive FC will be patient. They will take their time. Mares had that one deflected. Yuma. Back to the captain, Chiro Intoko. Toko. Maris. Box. Looking to spring. Ross. Ross back to the plate, takes it, and moves it off to the right. Here's Becky. Rebellon. Gomez. Josue Aron Gomez. He'll loft one, and that's deflected, and it will be Locomotive FC's first corner of the night. The Chick-fil-A corner kick coming for Locomotive FC here in the 24th minute. But the patient pressure, you knew that Mark Lowry was going to have his team build until something shows up.
And much better there, being patient. The timing looks like as the game is going on, it's getting better. And the timing of the runs, the timing of the passes is getting better. So they just have to look to continue to build on this momentum, build on what they've done in the first 24 minutes of this game.
Maris will deliver the corner and goes back to pull him out of position. That's to Ross. Ross trying to ping one to the left, and Rebellon, who switched all the way left. Here's Yuma. Headed down. Good work by Gomez to run it down. Ross again trying to lead one in on Maris, and it'll be easily gathered by Blanchette. But Locomotive FC starting to pull things a little tighter. Blanchette out of Palo Alto, California. Comes to RGV from Cosmos of the NPSL. Andy Fox just sees that one over the touchline. Will be a throw in here for Locomotive FC. Patient pass from the back. As the maestro, Pep Guardiola, would say, keep the ball past the ball, keep the ball past the ball. This is what Locomotive FC wishes to do.
And you can already see how that high pressure from the RGV Toros, but they weren't able to sustain it. Now they're giving the Locos much more freedom, more time.
And here is Maris. Fox delivers into the box, cleared away. Isidro Martinez puts it up and out. It will be an RGV throw. Goes off of El Paso. Locomotive FC starting to make some forays into that attacking third now. And RGV's chances have dried up as the sun sets here in the Sun City. About to hit the 27th minute again. There will be a hydration break, probably around minute 30. At the discretion of Chris Ruska, our referee. Emil Legault. Coronado. Bounces off of Rodriguez, who got it to deflect. It will be an RGV throw-in. USL's... Pardon me. USL's elite pre-professional platform, the USL Academy, allows clubs across the USL to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local youth talent. Following the success of the first Academy Cup events, clubs can now apply to participate in the USL Academy League, kicking off next spring. For more information, visit usl-academy.com or search hashtag USL Academy on social media. Desert sunsets evoke all sorts of emotions. Wonder, awe. Tonight, I think relief would be a good word.
Definitely, I think I lost half of the quarantine weight I put on my walk from the car park into the stadium.
I am with you, my friend. Yuma. Becky. Still defending indeed. Trying to attack some here. Brian Rebellon. Rebellon tries to roll one to Gomez, but the back line, Robert Coronado, holds things up for RGV quite well. Rebellon ready to take another stab and gets taken down. Play on, says the referee. Defended by James Murphy there. Becky will try the long switch. It's over the head of Andy Fox.
Decent idea from Drew Becky. Wishing not to be able to connect that pass in with Andy Fox in a 1v1 situation and able to take on.
We saw him out there with all those acres of green grass. Just wasn't able to connect. Little dance by Maris earns Locomotive FC a throw. Box and then Toko. Box will attempt a long one up the way to Gomez. First to it is RGV and Robert Castellanos. The quick counter attack, and Becky, mercy, is going to see yellow tonight.
And Kevin Rodriguez is a player that they're going to have to keep an eye on, especially on the break like that. He's got loads of pace, and he's able to punish teams if they're not aware of where he is on the break.
And Drew Becky drawing the first caution of the evening in the 30th minute. You could see he was going to be late on Rodriguez. Did what he could to slow things down. That is the definition of a professional foul. It is the physical yellow card, brought to you by our friends at Physical Therapy Centers. Long cross in, and it's headed to the far post and just missing Castellanos. Right there in front was Obregon. Castellanos inches away from hooking up with Obregon for what would have been an easy headed tap in.
And that's the reason why Coach Mark Lowry was very, very intent on bringing in bigger bodies to be able to defend set piece moments like that. Too many times last season, they either gave up a goal late in the game or off of set pieces. And around the USL, that was a common theme. So being able to defend moments like that is really, really important.
And it is our hydration break as we enter minute 30. Our friends from Hydro Flask bringing us some good stuff. 30th minute of the match, our Hydro Flask hydration break. The hydration break brought to you by Hydro Flask, and you and I got some good tchotchke up here, Mike. These Hydro Flasks are beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to really use them. Put some ice in them when I go for my hikes.
Very nice. Little hook, little loop. And here is our man, Andrew Forrest, our general manager and man about town. Andrew, welcome, and we appreciate your time here in the Hydro Flask hydration break. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well, and talk a little bit about some of the challenges. I know that I watched your Twitter feed. You mentioned you are as fired up for the start of a season, or the restart as the case may be, as you've ever been in your entire professional career.
Yeah.
Talk about what that means to you.
Yeah, this is obviously a very different experience than normal, but nonetheless special. We're excited to get the restart going of this season and be on this opening weekend and be hosting at home. And I know that there's no fans in the stands, but we're hopefully putting on a show for everybody at home.
Hopefully so. And we've got the cardboard cutouts, the cardboard conductors, and that's something unique. It was, as you say, brought up by somebody on your staff, correct?
Yeah, that was one of our account executives saw this happening in, I think, Mönchengladbach in Germany and thought that this would be an application that we could do here and pull off. And I think it's gone really well. And I suspect there'll be quite a few orders waiting for us tomorrow when we look at the inbox, because I think a lot of people are seeing this for the first time. And I see all of our fans on the big board watching on their Zoom parties. That's awesome. It's great to see everybody.
Classico fan cam, 8th Notch and assorted Locomotive fans are all up and running. They're showing that on the big board here at Southwest University Park as well.
It looks awesome. Yeah, having a lot of conversations around town and noticing on Twitter today. I know a lot of people are watching on the CW and ESPN Plus, and it's great that even though they can't be here, they're absolutely supporting. They're having Zoom parties, they're having cookouts, they're drinking beer, they're having a great time, and they're supporting. And we're just hopeful that we can find 3 points tonight.
Hopefully, and hopefully we see those fans back here, but until then, stay safe and stay well. Andrew, we appreciate your time. I look forward to speaking to you further.
Absolutely. Thanks, Duke.
You bet. That is Locomotive FC General Manager Andrew Forrest as we restart play. So that is an automatic 2 minutes that will be added on at the end of this first half. Becky Chaperera is around his man. Holds off a near double team to keep possession for Locomotive FC.
I think it'll be really interesting to see how teams take advantage of this hydration break. We've seen We've seen teams overseas in the EPL, in the German league, really take advantage and come out of the hydration break with instructions from the coaches and really capitalize on it, scoring goals within minutes of an hydration break. So we'll see if that translates into the USL as the season progresses.
Well, RGV, after surrendering 5 goals to those to open their season, you can tell Gerson Echeverri has been doing some defensive work. Isidro Martinez battling one-on-one with Gomez. Puts it over the back line. It'll be another corner kick here for Locomotive. A Chick-fil-A corner coming up. Dylan Maris does the honors.
I anticipate this one will be served into the box.
Yeah, Maris electing to go short to Nick Ross, waiting. That availed itself of nothing. Long cross, easily headed out by Castellanos. It'll be run down by Antoko. On the bounce, dangerous. That's well played by Chaperera, and Yuma taken down by Ruin Nunes. And he receives a talking to. From Alegrete, Brazil. We take a look at the replay. Spaniard biding his time. He knew what was coming. But Yuma so key in both of these matches with RGV Toros. The Spaniard looks to referee Chris Ruska for something maybe a little extra to come out of the pocket. No dice there. Here is Fox trying to weave his way through traffic and gets handled by Melik. Fox trying to return the favor and will make contact with Kyle Edwards. Strikeout Ruin Nunes.
Like as you mentioned, RGV Toros probably not too happy, giving up 5 in their home opener to Galaxy 2. You can see how defensively disciplined they're trying to be. They're tight, they're compact, they're trying to make it hard for the Locos to break them down and play through them. Done a really good job with that so far in this game.
Lego. Ruin Nunes. Well played, Chapa intercepting that. That allows Maris to make the easy back pass to Becky. Maris looking for the pass from Ketterer, who receives it back. Locomotive patient, finding a gap. Chaperera. A little behind Rebellon, but it'll chip it forward looking for Gomez, and it'll be bumped out by Castellanos.
That's a great pass from Logan Ketterer. We saw him try to make a similar pass to that in the game against Orange County.
And another card coming. This is going to be Yuma's, the high boot. A physical yellow card issued to Yuma for his foul on Ruin Nunes. 5 cautions last year and wasting no time. Yuma in the 38th minute.
And he's very fortunate that the first challenge early on in the game he didn't receive a card for that one. This could have been a sending off if he had gotten a card for the first challenge of the game. A clear high boot. Not sure if there was a lot of contact there. However,
not much, really.
A dangerous play.
And it was a dangerous play. Worthy of the yellow card, but I think Ruin Nunes made a little something of that. Rodriguez complaining that Rebellon pulled him down. Chris Ruska with a little work to do. We're in the latter stages of our first half at Southwest University Park, but how wonderful is it to be returning to play here in the Sun City? No fans in the stands, but we appreciate our friends at the El Paso and Las Cruces CW for allowing us to bring you these plenty of weekend matches through the 15 games, including this one, that Locomotive have to play this season. Of course, every match home and away can be viewed on ESPN+. Ketterer will head that into touch. Didn't like the looks of what was shaping up with Obregon Jr. challenging in Toko. Ruan Nunez has been busy. They'll switch it. Martinez looking for Rodriguez. Ready to go. Rebellon. Oh, Rodriguez. Nice move. Good work by Rebellon to try and clear. That's actually Chaperera. Lifted again. Another RGV corner kick. And suddenly, RGV Toros have found some solid possession. Looked dangerous these last couple of minutes.
We talked about it earlier in the game, how RGV is looking for that quick, that long switch to their outside back, who's able to create a 2v1 with their outside mid. See them not be successful hitting into this near left side. However, they were able to find it onto the far left side and create that 2v1 opportunity there.
Isidro Martinez, the team captain. They'll play the short corner, loft it in, and over everybody's head, Coronado. They just overcooked it a little bit, which is easy to understand when you're over 100 degrees at kickoff. Lots of things can be overcooked, including us. Box contested throw-in, but Yuma wisely popping it back to the Englishman, Andrew Fox. It's a soft playback by RGV, and it'll go out for a Locomotive throw. The restart, Fox wants to try his luck. Lomis up the way. Well, if there's one man Locomotive FC would like to touch the ball more, it's this man, Marios Lomis. First spell with anything more than a touch on the ball. Earns the throw in. Here's Ross. Nice move by the Scotsman. It'll bounce to Maris. Maris shut him down, but now to Gomez. Gomez the sidestep, looking for Rebellon, trying to keep it in touch, and he could not. Or keep it in play, rather. It goes in touch.
And you see some of that rust of not playing a game against an opposition in over 3 months. Not being clean enough in that final third, being able to combine quickly around the 18-yard box and create a shot or get a cross into the box. Still trying to sort out and figure out some of that timing.
Yuma. Rebellon did well. Chaperera trying to protect the ball. Rebellon taken down. Draws the contact from Perpa. The last stages of our first half of play here at Southwest University Park. Locomotive Soccer back in action for 2020. And sure, there were no goals scored in the opener early March at Orange County, but a 0-0 draw earns Locomotive FC an important point. Top two teams out of each group will advance, and they are right now in a playoff position. Well, lots of games to play. Ruan Nunez receives the throw in. Trying to switch it and find Rodriguez out of that left wing. He's been the most dangerous player for Toros FC in this first half, I think. Again, overhit. Plenty of rust for both teams tonight.
Really surprised that the Toros are having Rodriguez come centrally when they're in possession, with how well he does 1v1 and how much pace he has. I'm very surprised that they're not keeping him wider and having him look to get the ball and take players on more.
Perhaps an adjustment for Gerson Echeverri coming at halftime. Locomotive FC, lots of wily veterans, but also a number of guys who are over the age of 30. Kevin Rodriguez, is 23 years old, has certainly shown his pace and his possession in this first half of play. Well, at least 2 minutes of stoppage time for the hydration break as Ruben Nunez tries to keep possession. Well played. We are hearing that there will be 4 minutes of stoppage time. The Jarrito stoppage time coming up shortly. Locomotive earns another corner. Good work by Gomez. But again, RGV holds that back line. 4 minutes of added time. The Jarrito stoppage time is officially 4 minutes. Mares looking like it might be a short corner. Nope, he'll go to the far post. All the way over to Rebellon. Pops that one back up and in. And over the back line. Chet will just let it go.
Really good ball from Dylan Mares. Brian Rebellon's got to do a much better job getting that ball back into the mix. Possibly taking his eye off of it. Not making contact with it as he would like.
Well, Drew Becky has a yellow. Yuma has a yellow. Would you imagine those might be halftime substitutions for Mark Lowry?
Can't imagine that he's making those subs at halftime, but I anticipate that as the second half goes on, you see the likes of a Saeed Robinson, a new player to the roster, maybe a Richie Ryan, who we all know and love and know what he's able to do and how important he was to the group last year. Those will probably be the first two subs that I'd imagine Coach Mark Lowry will look to make in the second half.
The foul will give Martinez the restart. 15 yards over the halfway line. But again, restarts. Got Toros into the game the last time they were here in March. This time, Chiro and Toko took that one, I think, in an awkward spot up on the noggin as he beats Castellanos to the ball.
And looks like Andy Fox is down on a knee.
Fox is hurt as well, correct. So both Chiro and Toko and Andrew Fox. And Toko, I think, headed that one away. It is an RGV throw. It came off of Ntoko, and I think that the ball just landed in an awkward position for him. Obviously, the contact that put Fox on the turf was well off of the ball. Nonetheless, Toros FC with the throw in. Coronado slips his man, tries to rip one in, but easily handled by the sure hands of Logan Ketterer. Ketterer, 13 shutouts last season. That was good for 4th in the USL Championship. Pretty solid for a first-year squad in Locomotive FC. Here's Fox trying to roll one. Lomis not the same pace as Carter Manley. About a minute left in stoppage time here, first half. Loose ball. See, Yuma trying to find Gomez up the wing. But really, for both teams, you can tell there is a lot of rust still to be taken off. Box there to meet it. Beat Lego, who will throw it in. Chris Ruska saying not from that far up. Speaking of locomotives, with no fans in the stands, it's a little more plain. when one rolls through. It's a good thought of a ball looking for Rodriguez, who takes his man down from behind. Rebellon goes down in a heap, and Ruska giving a little talking to Kevin Rodriguez.
That's just a smart veteran play from Brian Rebellon, recognizing where the pressure is coming from and just putting his body between the ball and the player. Kevin Rodriguez not doing a good enough job slowing down.
Straight into the back.
Yeah.
No attempt to play for the ball. That could have been a caution, but it will not be. And that is our first half of play. At halftime, no score between RGV Toros and Locomotive FC. As we will take a break and take a look at some of the highlights here from our first half of play. Back in action at Southwest University Park. Deflections. Dangerous corners from RGV. But solid defense really from both teams here tonight. No score here at Southwest University Park as we are back in action in 2020. More right after this as we continue with halftime.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. The score at halftime is Locomotive 0, RGV Toro 0. Kicking off the GECU halftime show tonight, we catch up with Coach Mark Lowry and goalkeeper Logan Ketterer on the return into play and how they've kept everything engaged throughout the lockdown.
We feel really excited. It's been so long. It's actually longer than a normal off season, you know, in terms of us not playing. So we have the excitement of just being like, you know, being able to play again and get back out on the field.
We're really excited to play some games and compete against people outside of ourselves. It's been a long 4 months. We felt like we were getting things going in March, and now we've got to bring that back and get ready to go for a short but intense season here.
We've made, though, a real point of empowering the players to find that energy, to find that chemistry in a different way. Obviously, we haven't been able to be out here all together at times. So how can they keep the team chemistry alive, actually even grow it and nurture it into so we become even stronger. So we've done a lot of exercises where the players have taken responsibility, the players have had to problem solve. We've done some interesting things in training where the players have taken some of the sessions just to so they step out of their comfort zone a little bit, find some responsibility in that and a different perspective of the group. So we've done a ton of different activities.
Because this shows a desire to run for your team. And as a coach, that's the most important things.
But a lot of it's just been about empowering the players, making them better problem solvers, and then going through that process, they develop a chemistry and a better bond with each other.
Coach Mark Lowry says he's very excited to be back. We look forward to the second half and expect several subs from Coach Mark Lowry. On this side of the break, we'll take a look at scores, storylines around the league as the GECU halftime story continues.
The USL is proud to bring professional soccer back into our communities and across the ESPN family of networks. Follow your local club and don't miss these exciting matches coming up on ESPN2 or ESPN Deportes.
Until
USL is proud to bring professional soccer back into our communities and across the ESPN family of networks. Follow your local club and don't miss these exciting matches coming up on ESPN2 or ESPN Deportes.
until it's now time for the GECU halftime show.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. At halftime, your score is El Paso Locomotive 0, RGV Toro 0. And here we have the Providence of halftime highlights.
Tonight, all USL Championship clubs are honoring healthcare workers throughout the country. We extend a special shout out to all healthcare workers in our area. At this time, we also want to recognize Nicole Willis from the Hospitals of Providence Trans Mountain Campus. Nicole is a passionate nurse committed to providing compassionate care for her patients. Each day she comes to work, she goes above and beyond to be there for her patients and ensure they have a positive experience. And we thank Nicole and all healthcare workers in the El Paso area. And our thanks to the Hospitals of Providence as well. It is 0-0 at half here at Southwest University Park, and we've got highlights and plenty more coming up as we continue.
It's now time for the GECU Halftime Show.
Welcome back to the GECU Halftime Show here in downtown El Paso. As you see the beautiful Plaza Theater, and of course, no score here at Southwest University Park in the first half of play. Duke Keith along with Michael Balogun back with you as we get ready for the second half. Let's take a look at some of the highlights and statistics from our first half of play as we continue with the GECU Halftime Show. It is a little eerie in downtown El Paso, but we appreciate having you with us and being able to speak to you over the television airwaves here with our friends from the El Paso Las Cruces CW. As we take a look at some of the first half statistics, no score, and Michael, I think that it's been kind of a bit of a stalemate between Gerson Echeverri and Mark Lowry. Both teams dominant in the midfield. It seems like El Paso certainly dominated possession, the passing game working very, very well in this first half of play, but RGV has looked maybe a bit the more dangerous team, and there you see some of the stats to back it up. Passing accuracy, as you might expect, Locomotive FC, which led the entire league by more than 3 percentage points, 83.1% of the passes. RGV, which was 80% coming in, held to 77%, and Locomotive has had dominant possession, basically 60% to 40%, but it's been RGV with Kevin Rodriguez on that left wing that has looked awfully dangerous in certain spots in this first half of play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think both teams will expect a 0-0 halftime. We'll take a 0-0 halftime. However, they're going to have to make some changes in terms of how they look to break each other down to be able to come out of this game with a win and more than just a point.
Absolutely. And we want to thank all of our friends from Peter Piper Pizza as well for helping us bring you these halftime statistics. As once again, no score, no shots on target, a couple of attempts, but that's been pretty much it. Locomotive FC, though, trying to draw that string a little tighter, and we'll see if they're able to do it when we continue. Second half action coming up after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is Locomotive FC Soccer here on your El Paso Las Cruces CW. Duke Keith along with Michael Balogun as we take a look again at the Peter Piper Pizza halftime statistics brought to you by our friends at Peter Piper and many locations around El Paso and Las Cruces. Passing accuracy 83%, 77.4% for RGV. The possession 60-40. As we take a look at some of the first half highlights, and again, more of the black jerseys of RGV than Locomotive FC. Ruin Nunez trying his luck. Here's that short corner. Just deflected away from Castellanos. That went over for another RGV corner. Rebellon trying the long pass, trying to find Marios Lomes. Easily gathered by Paul Blanchette. Here is Dylan Mares. Beats one man. Beats another man. Gets it to Fox, who tries to return the favor, but RGV able to shut the door. Then on the restart. The magic wand of Isidro Martinez, and that is delivered to Castellanos, just barely missing. Juan Obregon Jr. That is the most dangerous opportunity of the first half of play. And Toros may have only had 40% of the possession, but Mike, they have really been the more dangerous team here tonight. And we do have substitutions coming on. And it will be Richie Ryan here for El Paso at the half. Coming on for Locomotive FC. As there you saw the Clásico fan cam. Go ahead, Mike, sorry.
And that substitution is not a surprise. Richie Ryan coming on. Would have expected it to be a little later on in the second half. However, he's a big part of what the Locomotive look to do, is a big part of their team. So not surprised that he's coming on.
It'll be Richie Ryan coming on for Yuma. That one is perfectly expected. And Mishak Jerome also on as well. And he will take the place of Drew Becky. So I kind of wondered at the half if they'd be taking off the yellow cards, and Mark Lowry electing to kind of play it a little closer to the vest. 288 total passes for Locomotive FC compared to 152 for RGV. That's the story. Oh, good work here by Gomez. Lomes deflected, and it's bounced right to Blanchette. Locomotive FC in the first 30 seconds of the second half, making their presence felt. And the first shot on target all night long, Mike.
Yeah, and it's good to start the second half in that manner. Definitely will feel good for Marios Lomes to get a shot off and to really warm up those shooting boots.
Tropical Smoothie Cafe substitution shout out. Richie Ryan on along with Mishak Jerome. And it is not Becky who is off, but Chiro and Toko, the team captain.
I'd imagine those substitutions are not because of cards, or not because of play, but more because to manage their minutes.
Sure.
And to keep those players fresh. Those are obviously the veteran players on the team, so being cautious with them sitting out that long and coming back and making sure you're not pushing them too hard, too early.
Fox and Ross combining to win that ball back, and here is the Haitian defender. Missed so much of last season out with an Achilles injury suffered at the Gold Cup playing for his native Haiti. It is a wonderful thing to have Mishak Jerome back in the lineup. You hear Mark Lowry talk about his ability to deliver incredible balls. That's a pretty good switch right there to Andy Fox. Played back from Lomes to Ross, and that will be a free kick for El Paso. And Locomotive FC immediately applying the pressure. Timo Milik.
And Mishak Jerome's ability to spray the ball. We saw that pass that he played to Andrew Fox. I don't think it got above 2 inches from the grass. Just zipped it across, maybe to switch the ball really quickly. It's going to be interesting to see how much he changes the game for the Locomotive with his passing ability.
And here is Becky to Fox. Into the middle, that is legged away by RGV. Chapa fighting for it. Good work by Carter Manley to boot that out of trouble for Toros FC. GM Nick Calba, the assistant general manager for Houston Dynamo. That relationship maintains, well, it's still very strong. Were words that maybe RGV would take the foot off the gas a little bit, or Dynamo anyway, when it came to their affiliation with RGV Toros FC, but Houston Dynamo remains very much a part of Toros FC. And of course, they brought in President Ron Patel from New Mexico United, who did such wonderful things. The crowds they drew in Albuquerque. A testament to Patel and Peter Trevisani, and Patel has a new job as a result of it there at HEB Park.
And in my opinion, they have one of the best stadiums in the USL. However, they haven't been able to capitalize on that beautiful stadium.
Dangerous Obregon Jr. Well sniffed out by Rebellon and the Locomotive defense. Maris, Becky. That is in part one of the reasons Ron Patel is in the Rio Grande Valley these days. Good dummy pass there by Chapa Herrera.
Just looks much more comfortable than he did last year.
Doesn't he, though? He really does. He trying to work that ball out. He just let the ball do the work for him, didn't he? Ryan, good back heel by Ross. Box trying to earn something. Lomis under pressure. Chapa Herrera trying to win it back. One-on-one with Rodriguez, and it'll be a foul. Chapa Herrera earns the contact and the foul. Kevin Rodriguez does the harm. Great work by Luis Chapa Herrera.
And it looks like Ishak Jerome is going to have a hit. This has to be at least 45 yards out. But we know how well he can hit a ball.
People are saying that's at least 36 to 40 yards off the back line. Nobody's going to try it from there. Ishak Jerome is about ready to try one from here. And he can fire him. Jerome all the way through and just missed it by inches. Let's take a look at the angle and see if that kind of bent out of the way a little bit on Jerome. Around the two-man wall, and yeah, it's kind of sliced off to the right.
He does well to keep that ball down low. However, doesn't get it on target. Doesn't really trouble the goalkeeper.
Solid work by Melik to earn a throw for RGV, trying to get it out of trouble. Becky nods it back. Here's Ross. Well played. Herrera. Lomis. Gomez in for Ross, and the shot. That's Lomis. Shot stopped by Blanchette. Locomotive FC certainly strutting its stuff in the opening 6.5 minutes of our second half.
There's just a much better job by the midfield four of just combining, connecting quick passes to get opportunities like that. That's the first opportunity, first shot they've been able to create. However, you've seen them in moments in the second half already able to connect passes between the four of them, and I think that's going to yield positive results as this game goes on.
Marius Lomis. Let's check this last shot. Of course, Lomis announcing himself 30 seconds into the second half with a big one. Well played, Gomez. Lomis knocked it into the turf, but covered by Blanchette. Didn't trouble the keeper too much, but still, Locomotive FC. 2 shots on goal for Marius Lomis, and we've played, at that point, 6.5 minutes. Here's Ross, and that is going to be a foul as Ross taken down by Carter Manley. Richie Ryan. It's too quick a restart, I guess. Locomotive wants to keep the pressure on, don't they?
And that's the second time you've seen them put the ball down and try to play quickly. They're hoping to catch RGV off guard and not prepared on those quick restarts.
Well, another opportunity for perhaps from Ishak Jerome. Although Dylan Maris is back there as well. It looks like Maris is going to take this restart. Dylan Maris, former Louisville Cardinal, Indiana Hoosier, lofts one into the box, and that is just wide of the head of Andrew Fox. But Locomotive FC continues to show itself the more dangerous team in the second half.
That's a good ball from Dylan Maris, looking for Andrew Fox, who's not a bad target to look for on set pieces, scoring 2 goals last year and really putting a lot of teams under pressure on set pieces. He does a really good job of timing it with his timing his jump and also his runs into the box.
And he beat Castellanos to the position as well. The ball had been just a couple inches further back. He could have made contact with it. Here is Rodriguez, though. Rodriguez has a go, and he doesn't miss by much, but he does miss.
That's the danger of Kevin Rodriguez. Doesn't need a lot of space, doesn't need a lot of time. Just shifting that ball to his favorite right foot and trying to bend it and find the backside. Unlucky to miss a little wide.
Hails from Pasadena, Texas. I imagine somebody that, with your connections in Houston soccer, might have been on your radar from time to time. Mike?
Yeah, I actually got to coach him a few years ago as he played in what is now the USL League One. Phenomenal player, works very hard.
Here's Rebellon. Ishak Jerome. Herrera. 1 against 2 finds the right pass. Maris. Ryan. No, well done. Here's Fox in, and it is lifted out. It will be a corner kick. On the scene was Manley, but he just beat Lomas to the spot, and it'll be another corner kick coming for El Paso. A Chick-fil-A corner kick coming up for Locomotive FC, the opening home match of 2020. And that was sprung by a great pass from Richie Ryan, but it started on the right side touchline. Great work by Luis Herrera. Out it comes, headed down and out by Manley, but only so far as Rebellon knocks it back in, but pushed out by Perpa. Shaq Jerome will go back to Ketterer. Locomotive FC with all of the possession in the opening 11+ minutes. Hooked out for a throw by Legault. To Lomas. It's lost a handle on it. Did well to touch it by Rodriguez. And Lomas will lift it out for Rebellon. The high cross targeted in. The shot is wide, and it's off the head of Maris, who takes a knock from Manley. Right from the spot. It's actually Josue Aron Gomez.
A really good ball from Brian Rebellon into a dangerous area inside the box. I think Jose Aron Gomez would want that one back, not getting the contact that he would like, but also under pressure, worried about collision.
Well, you don't want a Texas Tech Physicians of El Paso nod to the dock. But you put your body in those positions, and Gomez certainly. Was there for El Paso. So as you see the 3 little dots up in the corner on the score bug, Locomotive FC has 2 of those dots remaining. You can make a total of 5 substitutions, but it has to come at 3 points in the match. That's up to the coach as to what 3 points those are. Bad turnover here. And here is Ross. Has a knock, trying to go far post, and floats it. Easy gather for Blanchette. Quick on the restart, trying to get something working. Obregon Jr. lurking about. That pass from Castellanos that almost found Obregon on the dangerous restart from RGV. They have been great on their free kicks here in El Paso, Texas. That one's deflected, and it'll be out for a corner kick off Castellanos. Another corner for Locomotive.
And just watching
Chick-fil-A corner, I think they're 5th of the match. Yes, sir.
Just watching the shape of the Locomotive, slight difference in where Chaparrera and Nick Ross are starting when the ball's not on their side. You see Nick Ross pulling out wide, looking to create that 2v1, and then coming inside as the ball gets switched.
Low driving corner. Ross, in it comes, looking for Gomez, but couldn't make it work. Well, Locomotive FC, it seems, has lots of different plays off the corner kick drawn up, don't they? Rebellon, nice long switch, will make it all the way out. Along that left wing, Ramirez. Locomotive FC trying to keep possession, but running away with it. Here is Melik. It's taken down and earns the free kick. Substitutions. And coming off the field is going to be Juan Obregon Jr. Garrett McLaughlin coming on. Tropical Smoothie Cafe substitutions. Garrett McLaughlin here in the 60th minute will replace Obregon. And it'll be Deshane Beckford coming on for Ruen Nunez. Brought to you again by Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Multiple El Paso locations, drive-throughs. That will be one of the 3 opportunities to sub players out for RGV, taken off the board for Gerson Echeverri. Garrett McLaughlin coming on here in minute 60 for the final half hour of play. Was a young man who was the 8th overall pick in the MLS Super Draft by Dynamo. Played his college ball at Southern Methodist University out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Rebellon. One-on-one. Beats Coronado to the inside. Rebellon takes off, beats 2. Rebellon to Fox. Chip out to Ross. Ross thumped and deflected by Legault. Garrett McLaughlin, 37 goals for Southern Methodist University, one of the stalwart or historically stalwart NCAA soccer programs. Rodriguez trying to work it out of trouble, but Locomotive FC's defense too solid in the midfield. They don't let it go over the halfway stripe. Becky. Great work by Andy Fox. High steps his way out of trouble. Jerome. Rebellon. Trying to step wide by Rodriguez. Good defense by Kevin Rodriguez, and they'll switch it out to the left. Drew Becky has to go run it down. There you see Logan Ketterer, who's taking a position well outside of the area. Long ball up the left wing side, but it's offside. The flag is up on Nick Ross. Good thought by Rebellon.
Really good ball from Mishak Jerome, looking to find Nick Ross on the switch. And just that slight adjustment in Nick Ross' starting position allows him to be on the receiving end of a pass like that from Mishak Jerome.
Where's Manley? A couple of important interventions for RGV. To Rebellon. Rebellon trying to make it work, but it's knocked last by Coronado, and it will be a corner kick that is spotted by the assistant referee. The Chick-fil-A corner kick coming up for Locomotive FC. By my count, their 6th of the match. Dylan Maris comes over to take it. A much better second half start for Locomotive FC. Can they pay or make it pay dividends? Maris delivers one right into the middle. Headed up by Castellanos and out by Castellanos. Here's Jerome. Sprays it wide to the left and just a little too far ahead. He's sprinting Andy Fox. Fox gets ahead to that. Cross control. Hanley. Another sub coming for El Paso, Distel Zola. Be coming in for Chaparrera. That one's let go, and it will be a throw-in for El Paso. Looked for a second like they were about to let Deshane Beckford get off to the races, but substitution coming now. Here in the 65th minute, it will be Zola in for Chaparrera, who's really earned his keep as a starter here tonight. 65 minutes of action. Tropical Smoothie Cafe substitution. Distel Zola.
And Distel is a new addition to the team from last year. Another player with experience that's able to bring some size, some depth into this roster. Player with over 170 professional appearances in France for various clubs. He's definitely a player that will add quality into this roster, just working himself into what Coach Mark Lowry wants and how the team likes to play. They're definitely excited about having him.
And here he is, first cross, first touch. Has to be lifted out by Manley. It'll be rolled in touch. Good effort at the back line by Castellanos. Zola from U16 to U19. A mainstay on the French national team. And you want to talk about some of the leading lights of world football. The French national team making it on the junior side is no small feat. Of course, is elected to play his senior internationals for his native Republic of Congo. There's Jerome. Maris. Fox to Ross. Nick Ross doesn't look it, but he's one of the fittest men, if not the fittest man on the Locomotive team. So say the physical tests. Here is a shot by Gomez, and just wasn't able to time that properly. An easy roll for Blanchette to bring in.
We see the Locomotive get their third shot of the game. However, everything that they're getting at the moment is from outside of the box. They've got to work a little bit harder, do a little bit better of a job of getting into the box.
Lome's trying to pressure that. Yeah, about the only forays they've been able to make into the 18-yard box have been on restarts and corners. Not in the run of play. Trying to change that here. Fox delivers the ball. In it comes, and it'll be pushed out for a corner. Lomes was just waiting for that to arrive at his foot. Castellanos. Speaking of important interventions, there's one.
And immediately after attempting that clearance, you see Carter Manley reach for his hamstring and reach for his toes and try to stretch his hamstrings. And the heat, the lack of training over the last couple of months could be catching up to some of these players.
Maris is knotted out by Castellanos. Ritchie headed back to Jerome. And to the veteran Irishman, Richie Ryan. What a presence to have at the age of 35. Certainly a coach on the field. Trying a little give and go. Maris and Lomes quite get it. And just letting it roll out will be Deshane Beckford.
Just the movement, savviness of Richie Ryan has really settled the team down. His ability to pick passes. There you go again, just that slight movement creates that angle, that pass. Be able to find Mishak Jerome.
Zola. Rebellon to the far post, popped away by Blanchette. Only so far as Fox will have a go, and that forces the save from Paul Blanchette. Andrew Fox didn't trouble Blanchette much, but that one came at an angle and forced Blanchette to the ground. Here's Ryan again. Good work by Fox. Had the curl on that. Got it around the defender and forced Blanchette off his line a bit to come down and get it. Rebellon. Maris from the middle, Lomis. Wide it'll come. Fox crosses one and another corner coming. Locomotive FC forcing RGV Toros into some desperation. Robert Castellanos knocks it over the back line. Another Chick-fil-A corner coming for Dylan Maris and El Paso Locomotive FC. And you just feel something on the verge of happening, Mike.
Absolutely. The complete domination of this second half. You see the look.
It's a whistle before the restart. No. Whatever happened before Maris put the ball in play.
That goal is going to be a good sign for Coach Mark Lowry. He wanted more size. He wanted more height in this squad. And you see Distel Zola, who was brought in the offseason, get his head onto that ball and put it into the back of the net. Didn't count, however, it's going to be a promising sign for the Locomotive.
Randy Lininger coming over to take a look, but Bellick is the one who goes down. Feels the cramp and he goes down, and the referee spots him on the turf and blows the whistle. And we are in our hydration break. And I believe there will be a substitution for RGV coming out as Timo Milik went down in a heap and forced their trainer, Randy Lininger, to come on out. So 9 shots, 6 on target for Locomotive FC. And all of that here in the second half of play.
They've done a terrific job coming out of halftime and really putting RGV Toros on the back foot. They're more aggressive. They're a lot cleaner in their combinations around the midfield, and they've gotten some chances. They just have to get a bit closer and really try to get into the box and take those chances that they get.
The Hydro Flask hydration break. It's coming in minute 72 here in our second half, and that'll be at least 2 minutes added on at the end of regulation. But Locomotive FC has come out of the halftime locker room energized. You mentioned Richie Ryan, the veteran Irishman, has had a lot to do that. We'll talk about that in a bit. But let's take a look at the Classico fan cam, and I'm seeing some bevies being consumed there. You know, they didn't tell us what we had to put in our hydro flasks, Mike. Thinking, you know, that might be something we could work with here.
I'd imagine we're only allowed water.
Right. Yeah. Here it would need to be water. Classico fan cam. Our thanks to our friends with 8th Notch, Locomotive FC. It's all over, and we do have a substitution. James Murphy coming on. Replace Timo Milik, as you might expect, and this will be officially in the 74th minute. And another corner kick coming. Well, actually, this is the corner kick that was stopped as Melik went to ground.
I'd imagine they'll try to look for either Andy Fox or Distel Sola on this corner kick for the bigger players.
Maris into the middle. That's not an out. I think getting up to that was Castellanos. Will be a Locomotive throw-in. Rebellon does the honors. Nice long throw in. Looking for Maris, but lifted out by Coronado. Rebellon is fouled. Shane Beckford doing all he could to keep the Colombian from springing loose. Beckford, a dangerous offensive-minded midfielder out of Montego Bay, Jamaica. On a renewed loan from Montego Bay United, Jamaican Premier League. Here's Richie Ryan.
The dangerous area, Richie Ryan.
Richie Ryan bends one into the box. Lifting it up is Blanchette and falling on top of it. Don't miss a minute of action in 2020. Sign up today. Get alerts all year long following your club on ESPN.com. Search for El Paso Locomotive FC. Click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores and reminders on El Paso's next match, which will be this next Wednesday. ESPN.com now. Click follow for your club. That one we will have for you via ESPN Plus. That will not be here locally on the El Paso Las Cruces CW, but our friends from ESPN, every match home and away can be followed. Mace looking back into the middle for Maris. Logan Ketterer nowhere near his back line. He's up at the 18-yard line. Rebellon, the ping, looking for Lomes. Defended well by Manley. Looking for a handball. They won't get the call. Nick Ross. That might have come off of somebody's hand. We'll have a look at that maybe once we have the opportunity. Here's Ryan. Box. Back to Maris. Pings one long. Rebellon at the edge of the area. Brian Rebellon. Make a little head fake. As we take a look, Ross gets a touch on this. Trying to pop it up. Well, that is squarely off the elbow of Rodriguez. But you could say incidental contact. I'm not sure that that was a deliberate play in the ball, but it was extended from his body. Here's Lomes, has it go, deflected out, and it will be a goal kick.
As the second half has gone on, you just see the Locomotive really pinning RGV Toros back into their half. They're not allowing them to get out or be able to play. Even when RGV Toros win the ball, they're giving it right back to the Locos. I've been really impressed with how the Locos are able to win the second ball, the third ball, when they give up possession. They've done a very good job with that.
Well, here in the 78th minute, here's Zola trying to make a move. Coronado sit for RGV out to Martinez. It's taken down by Maris. Play on, says the referee. We understand that Andrew Fox is about ready to come out, but here is Lomes. Lomes trying to get Manley to make a move, but Manley sees it through, and there's a yellow card that is on Dylan Maris for the action about 30 seconds ago, the 78th minute. So the caution issued to Dylan Maris.
Here you see Carter Manley go down for a third time, really trying to stretch that calf muscle.
Tropical smoothie substitution for Locomotive FC, Moses Makinde. Coming in minute 78 for Andrew Fox. And the physical yellow card coming to Dylan Maris also in the 78th minute. A Locomotive, though, with the possession. Mishak Jerome, nice little sidestep, pops one in. Lomis trying to get it down. Good gathered by RGV to keep it out of trouble, but only so far as Mishak Jerome, the Haitian. Back to Rebellon. Gomez. Rebellon. They will call the foul. James Murphy draws the first caution of the match for RGV. He was just subbed in 5 minutes ago. Physical yellow card for James Murphy out of Scotch Plains, New Jersey.
Really aggressive tackle from James Murphy. Definitely got some of the ball, however, like his studs, the referee felt the studs were exposed. Caught Brian Ribeiro right on the knee.
Well, Jerome is back there standing over it, Maris as well. It is definitely in a dangerous spot. So we take a look at the foul that earned Locomotive this free kick. A little coming together, the ball bounces up. Playing on through is James Murphy. Not sure if that's a foul. I'm not sure if it's worthy of a yellow, but Locomotive FC will certainly take it. Scoreless here in the 81st minute in El Paso. Mishak Jerome, Dylan Maris. Pick your poison. Jerome looks like he wants all of this.
Sure does. He's got a wind-up going.
Here's Maris. Deflection off the post and tipped out. Did Blanchette get a piece of that?
Looks like the wall did its job, and they were able to get enough on that ball to force it onto the post.
Well, it was deflected out for a Chick-fil-A corner kick. Maris bending that one. It did come off the wall and off of the left post. Maris. Headed down by Zola, gathered by Blanchette. Didn't get enough zip on that. Is still Zola.
That's promising for the Locomotive. That's the second ball he's been able to get to. Really
good work to move on by Robert Coronado. Ball is not over the linesman. At an angle. Here's deflected. Lifted out by Jerome. And we have a foul called on RGV.
That's the second time Brian Rebellon has thought the ball was going to go out of play and let it run. First time the ball barely made it out of bounds and over the line. This time staying in play and almost creating an opportunity for RGV Toros.
Locomotive FC survives that, and here's Becky. Becky playing with a yellow card. Given in the first half. Bounces to Zola. Tries to play a soft pass to Lomis. Well done. Maris, the goal! Gomez, the flick back to Dylan Maris. Locomotive FC's 2020 account is opened, courtesy of their newest midfielder.
And that's a great goal. We talked about it early in the second half, how the midfield forward doing a much better job of finding each other and combining with the front two. And here we see it. Just a quick combination, finding Jose Aron Gomez, who was able to lay it off to Dylan Maris, and he does the rest and puts it into the back of the net.
Well done on the restart. Lomis, Rebellon, and Dylan Maris scores the first goal of 2020 for Locomotive. This night is done. As you see the Clásico fan cam, a lot of happy Locomotive fans. Christian Lucatero checking in here in minute 83 for Kevin Rodriguez. As they set off the smoke pots from the cardboard conductor section, section 105. Little nod to our friends from 8th Notch there. 1-0 Locomotive FC, and the goal by Dylan Maris. But as you point out, Mike, well worked. Ketterer will let that one roll out.
Talked about the Locomotive. Most of their shots in this second half, they were from outside the box. It was the one time they were able to get a quality shot inside the box, and it pays dividend. Well done from Jose Aron Gomez, recognizing that he wasn't going to be able to bring that ball down and get a good shot. So just laying it off for Dylan Mares, who was able to finish the play.
Unselfish by Josue Aron Gomez. Again on loan from FC Juarez Bravos. And of course, Eder Borelli will be checking in at some point once we get all of this paperwork taken care of. Dylan Maris' goal. We'll take one more look at it. Brought to you by the Hospitals of Providence here in minute 83. Kembo Kibato earns the physical caution, physical yellow card. Look at that. Easy as you please. Josue Aron Gomez never changed his stance. He just let the ball pop off his head right into the path of Maris.
Yeah, just well done. Mario Lomes finding Jose Aron Gomez, who was able to just cushion the pass into the path of Dylan Maris.
And it's Maris who's taken down by Kibato, who earns the physical yellow card here in minute 85. And another dangerous restart. This one's Jerome all the way through, but right to Paul Blanchette. In the 86th minute, Locomotive trying to take all 3 points. But in it comes, a slow roller. Logan Ketterer forced into action for the first time tonight, really. Deshane Beckford could not control. They rolled it up to him, but Beckford not able to maintain possession in the quick restart. Ketterer to Richie Ryan.
And Deshane Beckford had an opportunity to square that across the box for an easy tap-in, but couldn't get the ball out of his feet. And you see him trip over and take that heavy last touch that goes right into Logan Ketterer. He's going to wish for that one back so he can just square it across the face of the goal for an easy tap-in.
Beckford now pretty much taking Kevin Rodriguez's place, at least in formation. Got to say, Rodriguez really has not been heard from here in the second half, and I'm sure conditioning for all of these guys is a real issue. But Gerson Echeverri looking to try and even things up, which it should be pointed out RGV Toros did late in the match in March. Here is Beckford. Draws a double team, and it's bounced out. It'll be a throw-in for Locomotive FC off of Beckford. That's good work by Nick Ross.
Really important that the Locomotive see this game out. In my conversation with Mark Lowry early before the start of the season in March, he mentioned this game and them giving up 2 goals to finish the game after being up 2-0. So that's going to be something that's on his mind. That's going to be something that's in the back of his mind, is making sure they see out this game.
RGV Toros, one of a handful of teams that Locomotive FC has not defeated in its first season of play. Would like nothing more than to see out the final 3 minutes of regulation plus whatever stoppage time Ruska signals for. Here is Zola. Maris. A slow roller easily gathered by Murphy. RGV, Beckford. Lost to handle. Coronado. Back from Kibato. Isidro Martinez tries the long ball. Mishak Jerome handles. Only so far as Kibato, though. Deflected by Zola. It'll be a throw in for RGV. Martinez, who's delivered some great balls on set pieces. Of course, it was Romilio Hernandez in the 79th and Jesus Enriquez in the 90th that got the tie last March 2019. Here's Makinde, crosses, almost finds Gomez, who's still vying for it, and gathered by Blanchette to keep that out of harm's way. Kibato. Rebellon saying he got the deflection, and the linesman agrees with him. Assistant referee.
Yeah, really surprised at Deshaun Brown and him coming for the ball, looking to post up Brian Rebellon. With how much pace he has, I'd imagine he'd look to get in behind and run Brian Rebellon, who's playing at full 90. Really surprised with his tactic and what he's looking to do there.
And we've got a Tropical Smoothie Cafe substitution. Josue Aron Gomez here in the now officially the 90th minute comes off, and coming on will be Saeed Robinson. First time we have seen the Jamaican coming in from Switchbacks FC. It's been a couple of seasons in Colorado Springs, which going into tonight's play led Group C. That's Locomotive FC's group. Saeed Robinson with the Tropical Smoothie Cafe substitution coming onto the field for Locomotive FC.
He's done well in the return to play pre-season. Just sharpness, just how well he's fit in with the group has been really, really impressive. Sure, he's going to be one that Coach Mark Lowry is going to look to lean on quite a bit as the season goes on.
That will be his first action, a foul, Saeed Robinson, and there will be 6 minutes of Jarrito stoppage time. So the Jarrito stoppage time again, 6 minutes. Here's Ryan trying to recover after a deflection by Luca Purpa. Purpa's been virtually invisible here in the second half, as have key elements of that RGV attack.
And then that's credit to the Locomotive and how much they've put RGV under pressure. They've done well with possession. They've kept possession. They've kept probing all throughout the second half. And that's why we haven't mentioned Luca Purpa very much in this second half.
Here's a long cross, though, to the far post, and that is settled down. Good work by Makinde. Out of trouble from Maris, Rebellon, and Zola. Off his line now, Paul Blanchette. Trying to cut out some of the space and give his team a little less of the field to have to work upward to cover. So the scoreboard clock stopped, but the clock here in the stadium is still going on. And we will be allowed to tell you exactly how much of the Jarrito stoppage time we've got. We've got about 1.5 minutes into stoppage time, so roughly 4 more minutes to go. Again, that's a minimum of 4 added minutes. But just so you are aware, things in the stadium just kind of reversed a bit. On a warm desert evening here in El Paso, Texas, Locomotive FC in its return to play, looking for the full 3 points. As we take a check of our Classico fan cam, Locomotive FC fans, 8th notchers, fired up, looking for that full 3 points, wanting to see their boys in blue finish it out for a total of 4 after this evening ends. Good clearance by Makinde, keeping it off the toes of Garrett McLaughlin. McLaughlin did well to win a little room for RGV along that right side touch line, but Makinde rolls it into touch. And RGV can't find a way through. Says they don't want to go backward, and now the turnover. Lome's trying to control, but that's some tired legs. Fortunately, Ross has his back. Zola to Ryan, and they'll take a little air out of this. Rebellon headed to the 94th minute of Jarrito stoppage time here in El Paso, Southwest University Park. Syed Robinson wins a touch off of Lucatero.
Really impressed with how the Locomotive have managed this second half. Talked about it, about the game management, which substitutions are gonna be able to come on and make a difference. And you have to feel like Richie Ryan and Mishak Jerome came on and changed this game.
Ross taken down, and in a heap is Emile Legault, who is cramping up. Legault's played the full 90 plus, and the physical yellow card is out for Chris Ruska for a physical challenge on Nick Ross. Ross none the worse for wear. Legault winds up with a cramp, and the red card was his yellow card for his efforts. We'll call it the 95th minute, 5th minute of stoppage time. Temperatures over 100 degrees at kickoff, and you've got to think they've remained that way for much of the first half anyway.
These players are definitely going to feel it. See why Coach Mark Lowry elected to use so many subs in this game, recognizing that in 4 days the team has to go back. They've got another game in 4 days against New Mexico United, so keeping these players fresh is going to be really important.
That'll be 8 p.m. the kickoff on Wednesday evening, July 15th, right here in Southwest University Park. Again, that will not be on your El Paso Las Cruces CW, but it will be on ESPN Plus, and we look forward to bringing you that match. Again, Locomotive FC in Group C, second place right now with the point. New Mexico United losing their opener, as is Real Monarchs, as did Real Monarchs, and Monarchs was losing last I checked this evening as well. Locomotive FC, should they wind up with a full 3 points, will be in solid shape.
And looking at their group, I think their chances of being the top two that advance into the playoffs are really strong.
Comes to Ryan, who draws the contact and the foul, and that might be the last action of the game. We're about to hit 96 minutes right here, and it's all up to Chris Ruska as to how much he wants to add past this. Quick restart, and that was indeed the last action of the game. Locomotive FC, the goal from Dylan Maris, wins 1-0. An exhausting game in 100-degree plus temperatures to begin, but Locomotive FC, outstanding work in the second half, Mike.
Yeah, I thought they were much better in possession. The insertion of Mishak Jerome and Richie Ryan, both players that are comfortable on the ball. Mishak Jerome's passing ability, we've talked about it over and over. His ability to pick teams apart. You saw that on multiple occasions in that second half, and that was really key into them being better in possession. And also Richie Ryan, just his composure in the midfield, his leadership has been really great for the Locomotive in that second half, and they come away with the 3 points.
Well, we see the one-dimensional cardboard conductors here in section 105, the three-dimensional Classico fan cam off doing their thing, as our eighth notch fans are happy this evening. A full 3 points for Locomotive FC, 1-0 over RGVFC Toros. Back to wrap things up as we continue right here from Southwest University Park. Welcome back, everybody, to Southwest University Park. 1-0 to the home team, Locomotive FC, with the win over RGV Toros FC. But Dylan Mares, as you would expect, is your estrella of the match. Dylan Mares with the opening goal of the 2020 season for Locomotive FC after the 0-0 draw at Orange County. He had a few opportunities on the road in Orange County, California as well, but Dylan Mares in the 83rd minute knocking one through on a beautiful sequence of passes as we take a look at the highlight that earns him the estrella of the match. On the restart, this is a whole look at second half highlights. That one's deflected. Mares, though, with the winner. On the high bounce, chests it down in front of him and flicks it in. Past Paul Blanchette after a beautiful pass. Lomes to Gomez, who just nods it into his path. And Mares able to finish it with aplomb to give Locomotive FC 4 points in Group C in this return to play for the United Soccer Leagues. And just a very well-worked goal. You were impressed all evening long, Mike, with the passing, but it really showed itself in the second half. And after no shots on target in half number one, RGV doesn't finish with a shot on target tonight. Locomotive FC with 6, total shots 12-7, and block shots, each team with 4, 1 offside for Locomotive FC, but there's the passing accuracy. Locomotive FC with Richie Ryan introduced in the second half actually got better passing the ball, 85.3 as opposed to 83 plus in the first half, and RGV Toros FC actually got worse, 73.8. The possession got even better for Locomotive FC in the second half as well, 67 to 34%. Just a dominating effort, especially in the second 45, Mike.
Yeah, they were definitely much better, much cleaner, much more crisper in the second half. And again, you have to talk about the substitutions that Coach Mark Lowry made at halftime and throughout the second half, and how much of an impact they were on the game in comparison to RGV Toros and their substitution, who were really quiet once they came onto the field. That was really big, and that was really important. And you saw how important substitutions were in this game, and I imagine they'll continue to be important going forward with this new return to play format.
Well, we appreciate all of our Classico Fan Cam participants on Zoom. And Dylan Mares, your estrella of the match tonight as Locomotive FC. As we take a look at some of the sights and sounds from this return to play here in El Paso, Texas. When the match ended, it was 98 degrees, so it was triple digits plus most of the evening. Yep, they had the flames working too. The flames on the outside and the inside all over Southwest University Park. Mishak Jerome, wonderful to see him back in action. But there you see Dylan Mares, the breakthrough. Locomotive FC with a big 3 points on that big goal in the 83rd minute by their new midfielder. For all of our friends here at Southwest University Park and your staff, our producer, Juan and company, we appreciate everybody's efforts as once again Locomotive FC 1, RGV FC 0. For Mike and all of our gang here at Southwest University Park, I'm Duke. We'll see you Wednesday night on ESPN Plus for Locomotive FC and New Mexico United. Until then, from El Paso, Texas, so long, everybody.
El Paso Locomotive FC versus RGV FC, presented by Southwest University. Southwest University makes you happen.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.